You ever call you Michael ever?
You can call me whatever you
All right, Mike, I like that. Yeah. Okay, Mike Bonin, who's the great councilman of the 11th District.
My mother prefers Michael, though.
She does. God bless your mother. Yeah. I want to ask our CLA official to read into the notes, and let's start this meeting slowly.
Would you like to start with item 2?
Yes, item 2.
Okay.
Let me have the department up here in the CAO.
The Board of Airport Commissioners submits for council approval the First Amendment to the contract with Unisource Worldwide, Incorporated, which is a contract for the provision of custodial supplies to meet the requirements of Los Angeles World Airports for a term of 3 years for an overall amount not to exceed approximately $17 million. The proposed amendment would extend the term by 6 months and would add $2.8 million to the contract amount for total compensation authority of not to exceed $20,055,000. This is to ensure that the department will have access to custodial supplies while new contracts are being finalized.
Very good. Could I have the CAO first and then the department? I think there's some new information. And Mr. Buscaino is en route. He's not only en route, he's here. Very good.
Good morning.
Okay, we're on item 2.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Bill Kreitz with the CAO's office. I won't reiterate what the CLA has said, but I will say that the department is requesting that this item be returned without action, but due to the fact that the 4 contracts that are referred to in this item have been approved by this committee and the council in September, basically eliminating the need for this overall or umbrella or extension contract.
Great. And the department staff?
Mark Adams, Los Angeles World Airports. Yes, this was in effect our contingency plan should the new contracts for custodial services not be approved. Those were approved by this committee and the council last month, and so we're actually requesting that you disapprove this and send it back to the department.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Buscaino, Mr. Bonin, anybody have any comments? Okay, Mr. Bonin moves and Mr. Buscaino seconds. Rejection, move it back. Item number 3.
Under item 3, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for approval the First Amendment to a contract with Atkins North America, which is a contract for professional engineering service for airfield improvements at LAX. The proposed amendment would extend the term by 3 years and increase compensation by $2 million for a total contract amount of $9.5 million. The CAO has submitted a report and recommendation for approval.
CAO first and then the department.
Andrea Mills, CAO office. Good morning. Yes, as the CLA mentioned, this contract is for an amendment, and actually we recommend approval. The name, I just want to bring to your attention that the name was changed after the contract was originally implemented, and so the new contract is authorized under Atkins North America Incorporated, and the scope of the contract was revised slightly, which brought about the amendment request.
Yes, good morning. Roger Johnson, Los Angeles World Airports. The amendment in front of you is for professional engineering services associated with various airfield projects at LAX. The reason we are requesting the amendment now is this company has done the bulk of the engineering work associated with a project we call the West Aircraft Maintenance Area, which is an enabling project for the midfield satellite, which is part of the green light projects under the master plan and the specific plan. The project has been delayed a little bit because of waiting for CEQA clearance and the environmental analysis. So the project has morphed. We've added scope, which is why we're also requesting additional funds. So be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Bonner? Yeah.
Move it.
Moved by Mr. Bonner, second by Mr. Buscaino. Thank you. Good work, and make sure you keep in check with the controller so everything goes right. I don't want to see this in the paper.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next item will be number 4.
Under item 4, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for approval a contract with Uniserve Facilities Services Corporation for ramp scrubbing and cleaning at LAX for a term of 5 years with 2 one-year options for renewal for a contract amount not to exceed $4.6 million. The CAO has submitted a report and recommendation for approval.
Andrea.
Yes, excuse me, good morning, yes, CAO. And this contract, this is a new contract request to award for services that will eliminate the hazards that are caused by slip and fall accidents or objects that are on the aircraft grounds, and to maintain the service, the pavement service. So this is a ramp cleaning, scrubbing, and sweeping contract, new contract.
Dave Shooter, Deputy Director for Engineering and Maintenance. This is the ramp scrubbing contract, which will consolidate 4 that we have now. It's for 4 numbered terminals, Tibbet.
Can't say Tibbet here.
I'm sorry?
Can't say Tibbet here.
Oh, bad.
You know.
Oh, Tom Bradley, Bradley West, I apologize.
Thank you.
And the Interior Cargo Complex. So it's a ramp scrubbing. It also includes a 20-minute on-call in case we have a major spill from a aircraft or ramp equipment.
Very good. Mr. Bonin?
Mr. Adams is supposed to brief you before you come to the table about the not saying Tibbet. Right? Just one question, and this may be for Mr. Johnson. I understand that doing this kind of work is to prevent contaminants from getting into the stormwater system. It's part of our obligations to make sure we're in compliance with environmental regs and the stormwater pollution program. And I'm just wondering if there's other things that we need to be doing, or if we're completely in compliance and we're doing everything we need to do.
We are in compliance with the both with the industrial as well as the general municipal stormwater program at LAX. We have an industrial stormwater permit that's issued by the State Water Resources Control Board, and we update that permit every 3 years. And we have actually put things in place. For example, what Mr. Shooter was talking about on the ramp area, we have a stormwater detention basin that actually captures all non-stormwater flow from the central terminal area. So things like a fuel spill, even if it were to get into the storm drain system in the ramp area, that would drain into the detention basin where we would capture it, pump it out, and then the water would get pumped over to Hyperion. The product would get sent to a waste facility. So we are in compliance right now with all, yeah.
Move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Bonin, second by Mr. Buscaino, so ordered. Let's return to item number 1. Okay.
Under item 1, the mayor submits for council confirmation his appointment of Mr. Anthony Pirozzi to the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the term ending on June 30th, 2015. This appointment is to fill the vacancy created by the mayor's removal of Commissioner Cindy Misikowski, effective as of October 31. The City Ethics Commission staff have received and reviewed Mr. Pirozzi's statement of economic interest. They have submitted a report which is before you.
Mr. Technical, is it Ms. Misikowski leaving the commission, or was she asked
It's been removed. Her term would have finished in 2015.
Did she volunteer a resignation, or was it a... I didn't see anything in the paper on it. I'm just trying to play up. No. So, but this is good news for San Pedro, right, Joe?
It's good news for the city of
Bruce
Los
Diano,
Angeles.
let me
Thank
hear
you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Pirozzi, welcome to our committee. We are so proud and so excited about this appointment, and Mayor Garcetti got it right once again. He made a commitment to appoint 3 local residents to the commission, overseeing the largest container port in the country. And how fitting that you are here before us. You have been a champion for the harbor area community when it comes to kids, when it comes to giving back and doing good and serving others. And for the record, you're joined by your loving family, your wife, your boys, your parents, and of course the leadership of the Port of Los Angeles, Dr. Nat, Cynthia Ruiz. Thank you for being here as well. In my experience, colleagues, I'm proud to call Anthony a friend. I've seen him work day in and day out, whether it was working on preserving the fields for Eastview Little League, starting Scalawag Productions, which is it's a youth theater company in San Pedro. Whether it was just being there at a number of events alongside his family. Anthony is going to be a tremendous asset to the Port Commission because he gets it. He gets the fact that the Port of Los Angeles is an economic engine for this region, for this country, but also he knows the importance of ensuring that the port is a good neighbor as well. So with that, Mr. Perosi, tell us your background, and I just threw it out there a little bit, stole your thunder a little bit, but tell us your background, your experience, what you do for a living, and what you plan on bringing to the Port Commission.
Okay, well, thank you for this opportunity. I'm pretty excited to be here. It's my birthday today, so this is a special day.
Happy birthday.
I was actually told on Councilman Buscaino's birthday that I was getting this appointment, and hopefully I get sworn in today officially on my birthday, so it's a great time.
My birthday was 2 days ago officially.
Sunday.
We got to turn the clock back, but we'll do it.
October is a great month, so let's see. So I was, like Joe, I have a similar story, born and raised in San Pedro. My mom's dad came here from Ischia, Italy in 1920. My dad in 1956. So I'm a son of immigrants. I'm proud to say I'm an Italian-American. I work for the Boeing company. I build satellites for a living. I've been working there 23 years. I'm now the executive director of the largest satellite manufacturing facility in the world. And so locally in San Pedro, I spent most of my time coaching. I coached kids since 1990. Actually spent a couple years coaching kids after high school, and then took a break, started coaching in 90, took a break again because of work and marriage, and then I've been coaching the last 12 years, all of my kids that are here today. Very passionate about San Pedro. I dove into the local issues when I found out our Little League was going to lose its spot, and then start working with the port to help develop Knoll Hill that's up there today. It's a 550 kid Little League, and I served as president for 3 years of that Little League. And also, I spent 7 years on the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce, 2 of those years as a chairman of the board. So I've been involved a lot with the waterfront development EIR, that whole process, the environmental impact report, and many other items that have come through our board for approval to make the harbor area even better and the waterfront strong. So I'm honored to be here today to be considered for this position.
So, Mr. Perosi, tell us, we talk about the jobs, and our friends and family work the docks. And how is the widening of the Panama Canal going to have an impact on the port operations and preserving the jobs in the area and the region nationally?
I think the widening of the Panama Canal could have a profound impact if we don't improve our competitiveness and efficiencies. So we have to just prepare ourselves not only to maintain those jobs, but also prepare our workforce for the future, which is automated ports. So we have to not only look to today to become more competitive, but also prepare them for the future.
And as far as waterfront redevelopment, we've talked about waterfront redevelopment has been a priority of mine moving forward, and of course Dr. Nash has been a champion in bringing key components to the waterfront, most recently with the announcement of Alta Sea at City Dock 1 that's going to bring the academic community to our region. How do you feel that as far as moving forward with waterfront redevelopment, and holding the port accountable for waterfront redevelopment?
Well, to me, it's the number one priority. We have an opportunity today to make a difference for generations to come. And so the port has to prioritize, the infrastructure improvements, whether it's parking, realigning Sampson Way, how people are going to get in and out of town. I look to the waterfront development as the 8th terminal in the port. There's 7 terminals. I look at ports of call and Alta Sea as the 8th terminal. So we have to figure out, the timing and prioritization of that development, because I think of the waterfront development as almost like the triple play, the trifecta, or whatever we want to call it. But we have good paying ILW jobs on the waterfront. When we develop ports of call, there's good retail jobs for even our youth. And then, the R&D side of the job market, which is all to see. So we will have all three big industries right at the tip of our fingers on the waterfront in San Pedro. So I think it's a huge opportunity for generations to come.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you for your commitment to continuing to serve the city of Los Angeles. Not only Anthony is a champion of the community, but he's also a loving husband and father and such a role model to us all. And we're proud of you, and we thank you for your service. Carolyn is just all smiles, and Carolyn gave you this blessing as well, because it really takes a team effort it's going to take a lot of your time. It's an awesome responsibility, and I know you're up to it for it. And I want to thank the mayor for this appointment, and I move that we support this nomination.
We got a few other questions.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Just curious what you think the biggest challenge is facing the port right now.
Well, I think we have to look at the financial challenges that we're up against. We have some significant overruns at the TRAPAC development. I know the Angelina's been in the paper. So we have to revisit, in my opinion, the overall model of whether the model of just being a pure landlord as a port is the right model for the 21st century, or is there more of a shared accountability between the terminal operators and the port when it comes to any capital investment, such as what's going on at TRAPAC? So I think that whole model of pure landlord needs to be revisited going forward for the future and how we operate as a business. I think it's very important. And even we have to hold people accountable as well. So I believe, running it as a business is very key, and looking at how we expend capital and manage those projects.
The other day, Dr. Natz announced she's going to be retiring in a few months after a stellar record of What are you looking for in a new executive director?
Well, first of all, I want to thank her as well. She, there were a few nights where we played email tag once in a while. I was looking forward to working with her because I was hoping we could get an ice skating rink on the waterfront during the wintertime. We talked about that a couple years ago.
January 1st for the ice skating.
All right, maybe we can make that happen. But, she has a lot of passion, so I'm looking for somebody with a lot of passion and drive and understanding of what's required to make our waterfront an international destination. Someone with vision, as she had with All to See, to take that truly to the next level and make that a reality. Because I think that's one of the biggest game changers that came our way in probably the last 100 years. So someone with her drive and passion would be key, and someone who really is going to look at building the relationship with our terminal operators, really trying to work on customer satisfaction, and also tying in very closely with the community and community needs.
Big push, technology's moving at a very fast pace, is a big push for mechanization. Some people feel that threatens jobs because the efficiency of technology. How do we balance that going forward to make sure that we've got a tech-savvy port, but that we're not bleeding jobs on the docks?
So technology is nothing new to us all, right? So, different technologies breed new opportunities. So, being in the satellite business, I see that every day. So the way I look at it is, as I mentioned before, we have to train our workforce for the future. The days of today are slowly running behind us, and we have to figure out how we prepare for that. I think it's a reality, but at the same time, it's a balance between the need for manual labor and automation. So we have to find that balance. But in the end, we truly have to prepare our workforce for the jobs of the future. So that could be software driven, that could be repairing a lot of this mechanized automation devices. It could be learning how to maintain a green port. There's a lot of things out there that we have to look at and start planning now.
One last question, and it's a tough one, so you might want to pause before you answer this. I think Joe may not have asked you this question. Who makes a better tomato sauce, his mother or your mother?
Very good. Yeah. City
That's
attorney.
an easy answer. Of course, my mom does, but,
Carolyn makes some great
There's
Italian cookies.
You know.
The Italian lemon cookies, Angelette's.
Yeah, Angenette's.
Oh, forget it.
So they have the cannolis, we have the Angenette's and the sauce.
It's great. It really is it's a great day, especially for the Italian-American community. I don't know if we've ever had an Italian-American commissioner of the Port of Los Angeles. Dr. Nass is our historian, but I can't recall in the 39 years I've lived.
I bet you.
There's one.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
So in a long time.
Don Farrell would not have let that happen. He kept trying to figure out. Michael, thank you. Joe, thank you. I just want to have you introduce your family, if you would. It's so special to have them here, so all of us could know how important.
Sure, I have my son Antonio, my wife Carolyn. Next week on the 16th, we'll be married 20 years.
Hey,
Good.
all
Good
right.
job.
My son Luca, Vincent, my mom Phil, my dad Tony, my brother-in-law Christian's behind me with my sister Amy.
Wow.
I think my cousin Willie is here. He's dressed up real proudly.
Good job.
Lawrence Fire
And,
Chief.
and a bunch of my colleagues from Boeing. Raise your hands, guys.
Good
Right.
job. Good job. Good job. All right. This is exciting. I think when you spoke about it, the eighth terminal, you spoke of the waterfront. The waterfront's so important. I was younger than Luca. We'd all come down. I came from a big family.
Mm-hmm.
We're not Italian. We're Irish, but it was big. And we'd go and watch the workers work and load by hand. This was in the late 50s, early 60s, and take the ferry over to Terminal Island and all that. It's a destination, which is so important.
Yes.
So creating that is so important for Los Angeles because there's so many people in our region. We have to give them opportunities to explore and love the city and be welcome in other parts of the city to be reacquainted. I'm a strong proponent of changing the name of the Harbor Freeway to the Long Beach Freeway. To the San Pedro Freeway. I was testing you.
Yeah, I got you.
So,
I already told someone you were going to tell me that.
Yeah, I got it. You've been schooled. That's good there. Because I think we got to promote San Pedro.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important destinations. People love neighborhoods, and there's nothing like a neighborhood of a port to understand. Having the sensitivity of living in that neighborhood, growing up in the neighborhood, is only going to benefit because there is a sound to the port that you live with. I used to live next to the Southern Pacific, and you would hear the trains real loud in the middle of the night. But then it somehow transforms you in the music of the industrial noise in a way somehow. Not obscene noise, but just constant noise. But that is key, and I wish you all the best because what makes it happen. And Hollywood was a tough spot 20 years ago. What made it happen is the police department cleaned it up. And then they allowed restaurants and other things, just like we're trying to do, Joe, in Old San Pedro and Beacon Street and all that transformation and connecting so other people want to come to that neighborhood. For the greening of the port, which Dr. Natz was the leader on, and our former mayor was a leader on, as this mayor, Mr. Garcetti, as Mr. Villaraigosa, big leader on, what Tom Bradley did in the past, what Jim Hahn did, all of this is a good thing. Now, for the local level, you have this great experience for family who lives in San Pedro, a graduate of San Pedro High. So I just think it's very important to say yes, yes, yes. So,
Madam Clerk, for the record, Tom LaBonge has his official port tie on.
Thank you very
Look at
much.
that.
All right.
Beautiful.
Okay, very good. So, thank you. Thank you, Joe. I needed directions, because I didn't want to get. What'd you say? What John say earlier? He's trying to get here, or what'd you say? He's en route. Okay, very good.
Move to approve.
Hey, but before you do, Harbor Occupation Center, LA Unified, Harbor College, all that for jobs, for the trades. And it is tough because the world is changing so rapidly in jobs. And if we don't change, it goes someplace else in the world. It's real easy. It's real easy to move things. So we have to do what Mike said, but at the same time, balance out and remember there's jobs that are so important. Thank you so much, Mr. Buscaino. I'll let you move it.
Move it. Move to
I'll
approve.
second it.
I'll second it. So ordered.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank
You
you very
have 35 minutes. You have a deputy mayor with you right there. So I want you to take the whole family and the Boeing up to the Tom Bradley Tower. I think Luca and his brothers will like it. And see the view up there. You got some time.
All right.
We provide approval. Thank you very much. Give a big hand, Commissioner. Next item.
On with item 5. The Board of Airport Commissioners has submitted for approval the First Amendment to a contract with CompuCom Systems for the purchase of computer software licenses and related support for Los Angeles World Airports. The amendment would extend the contract term from 3 years to 5.5 years and would increase the contract amount from $7.2 million to $29.3 million in order to continue to take advantage of competitive volume rates negotiated by the city. CAO has submitted a report and recommendation for approval.
Andrea?
Yes, good morning. Andrea Mills, CAO office. This First Amendment to CompuCon is for First Amendment for the CompuCon contract, and CompuCon supplies about 90% of the software-related items that are used by the department. So it supplies software not only for LAX, but Ontario and Van Nuys. The contract is through the city's contract with the city Information Technology Agency. So it's taking advantage of the cost discounts through the city's contract.
Good job.
Good morning, Dom Nessie, Chief Information Officer. As was just stated, this is our primary contract for purchasing software for the department and services to implement that software.
Thank you. Mr. Buscaino is out of the room. Mr. Bonin is here.
What email system does LAWA use?
Outlook.
Outlook. So when the city converts over, when we converted over to the cloud-based system a couple years ago, LAWA wasn't part of that, right, because it's proprietary?
No, we decided to stay with Outlook. It was working very well for us, and we had just a very small staff running it with very few problems.
So this contract then, does this include Outlook?
No.
Okay. So when would be the next opportunity for the airport to re-ask itself the question about going to a cloud system?
Well, we could probably do it at any time. It's not something that we have thought much about. Outlook has been very successful for us, and we only have 2 staff members operating it, so it's been very cost efficient for us.
Okay, thank you.
No questions? Let's go for it. Vote approval, Mr. Bonin, seconded by Mr. Buscaino. Real quick here on number 6.
Yes, under item 6, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for approval the First Amendment to a contract with Kimley Horn and Associates, a contract for engineering services for the Taxi Lane T project at LAX. The amendment would extend the term from 3 years to 6.5 years to expire on May 29, 2017. The CAO has submitted a report and recommendation for approval.
Bill Kreitz to the CAO's office. Yes, this is a First Amendment to an existing 3-year contract. It will extend it by 3.5 years for a total of 6.5 years for a design consulting and engineering firm that is working on Taxi Lane T at LAX. The original contract was competitively bid. We recommend approval of this basically for 5 reasons. One, it would accommodate changes that are being made to Taxi Lane T, where Kimley Horn is the handling construction administration services. It also will benefit from the consultant's unique expertise and the history with this project. It's very time sensitive. It's very complex. It will continue the services of the engineer of record, which is Kimley Horn. It will maintain a continuity in construction administration, and it will maximize opportunities for the successful completion of this project on time and within budget.
Thank you very much. Roger, anything to add to that?
No, other than we're not asking for any additional money. The project was extended to change the phasing. So.
Very good. Mr. Bonin?
No, I'm good.
No questions. Moved by Mr. Bonin, seconded by Mr. Buscaino. So ordered.
Thank you.
Last item, we have a public comment card. You want to call that in? Call it. Item 7.
Item 7, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for approval the First Amendment to the amended and restated Terminals Facilities Lease and License Agreement with United Airlines for the use of terminal space in Terminals 6, 7, and 8 at LAX. In addition, I'm going to let the airport staff explain what's in the amendment. And in addition, the board is asking that the council concur in the adoption of a negative declaration for the overall project of merging the leaseholds and renovating spaces in Terminal 6, 7, and 8.
Mr. CAO?
Yes, Bill Kreitz, the CAO. We have reviewed this extensively, and we recommend approval as the department is requesting for basically 4 specific reasons. It helps to consolidate separate terminal leases into one with one airline. It reflects a transfer of lease space in Terminal 6 from that's currently leased to Continental Airlines to United as a result of a merger in 2010. It establishes a lease term that continues to 2025, and the department receives approximately $43.75 million in revenue in the first year, $654 million in revenue over the 12-year lease term, and it will leverage $412 million in renovations and improvements paid for by United Airlines.
Thank you.
Hi, Debbie Bowers, Deputy Executive Director, Los Angeles World Airports. This is similar to what we did with Alaska, Delta, and Southwest Airlines and Terminals 651, respectively. We will get about $412 million worth of improvements. $40 million of that is proprietary improvements that United is putting in. Like the other deals, we'll acquire back the public and the airline type of improvements. This includes consolidating 3 very inefficient checkpoints into one 16-lane checkpoint. It includes a new inline baggage screening system. Equipment upgrades like passenger boarding bridges will all be purchased new. The hold rooms, thank goodness, will be upgraded and improved, and the arrival and ticketing level upgrade, that will all be upgraded. And this all improves the passenger experience and the efficiencies of the building. It also will involve some infrastructure that they'll have to do, some electrical upgrades and things like that in order to accomplish all of this.
Thank you. Mr. Bonin?
Yes. Glad to hear we're moving forward on this. Tell me as specifically as you can what the renovations will mean for passengers. How does the passenger experience change as a result of these renovations?
The first and foremost that the passengers will recognize is the security checkpoint. So we'll be consolidating that all very similar to T6. We'll all go upstairs. There'll be 16 lanes. It also happens to be some of the aesthetic things that they're going to do there is really pretty. The hold rooms are a little bit tired and dated. We haven't done a lot of work in these terminals since 1984. So all of that will improve: new carpets, new seating, some touch-up paint, new flooring, I think, that we're putting in there. The arrivals and the ticketing area, I think, are looking at some new technological upgrades with their ticketing, just like some of the other airlines have done. And the floors and the arrivals area will be redone. So it's a lot of sprucing up that the passenger will see, and I think will make a big difference. And in the interim of all of that, as you know, we've been putting in all of our new concessions, which will be done probably, I think, by the first quarter of next year. So it'll all kind of tie together in the next couple of years and make that a first-class terminals, all 3 of them.
Will the number of seats in the waiting area be more, less, or the same?
Likely will increase. This is Matt Shelby with United Airlines.
Number of electrical outlets.
Yeah, where they are incorporating that into the seating, and we are also looking for opportunities through concessions to increase that.
And how will the United terminals, you talked about the sort of physical improvements and how those will impact the passenger. Is anything being done to make the area feel like Los Angeles as opposed to any other airport?
Well, the concessions has done that a little bit with some of the local restaurants that we put in there. We have Ford Engine Company going into 8. We have Ford's Filling Station, and then the Engine Company. So we have 2 local. We have the Coffee Bean Tea Leaf. So we've done that a lot with concessions. They also, we have not approved yet the aesthetics and what they're putting down as colors and stuff. So we will certainly keep that in mind as we approve some of the things that they'll be doing.
I think someone from United was nodding more vigorously than at first.
The architect and engineering.
Speak to the microphone, please. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, gentlemen. Matt Shelby with the Corporate Real Estate Department at United Airlines. Yeah, the architect and engineering firm that we have hired while we are still in design one of the most important aspects is that we have asked them to keep a look and feel that keeps in mind Los Angeles and that creates sort of a timeless solution. When you look at the terminals today, they feel like they haven't been updated since 1984 because they haven't. And
Right.
we're looking to solve that with a timeless solution.
Excellent. I'd be happy to talk more offline or talk with the folks. Making the airport feel like this is Los Angeles and making it feel distinctive and not generic is key. We have a beautiful new Tom Bradley International Terminal, and the more we can make each of the terminals feel distinctive and feel like LA, the better off we are.
Right.
Very good, Michael. He's a great consultant there. And he's free, because he's a councilman. Mr. Bruce, any questions?
No, I'm moving.
No, I just want you to do that. We have one public comment card. I want you to do it right, but do consult with the councilman on that issue, because of his thoughts. It helps put that fingerprint that makes it special. And I have one card. Ron Miller. Thank you. If you could vacate your seats. Please.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ron.
So, just like we have and we've strived for a world-class port, we're right in the middle of striving for a world-class airport, because without a world-class port and a world-class airport, we can't have a competitive city, and we have to be competitive. So the work that United's going to be doing in this terminal is going to help towards that goal of making a world-class airport. They're going to do it with the men and women of the building trades, just like all the work in the port has been done with. And it's going to bring hundreds and thousands of jobs to local residents. And it's all going to be done under the project labor agreement that's in effect now. So we urge you to move this forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No further questions?
A world-class airport that is a first-class neighbor.
All right, and a first-class neighbor.
And a first-class employer.
And a first-class employer. And fly the friendly skies of United. Okay, add that to it. Always got to market it. All approved, so ordered.
Right.
Unanimous. No other items on the agenda. Have a good day. Continue to enjoy the city of Los Angeles. Thank you. See you, Michael. Thank you.